Spoiler alert. I mean, honestly, if you listen to this podcast, spoilers.
Spoilers. So it does go back in time, and you're at the academy, and the Doctor is in what I like to describe as basically a polycule.
You too like to describe it as that. And this just shows how much time you spent on Tumblr.
Well, so the Doctor and his friends are called the Decker, because there's 10 of them.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I get that.
And they're all just like they're the top of their class, basically. They're the most promising members of the academy.
Nerds.
Yeah. Could you imagine how insufferable?
Oh, absolutely.
A group of 10 students calling themselves the Decker.
They're mean girls, basically, aren't they? They're mean girls. People of the universe, please attend carefully. The message which follows is of vital importance to you all.
Please try to keep up.
We present to you a case study of one of the most dangerous minds in the universe.
Brilliant.
A history
Irresistible.
of the lives and times of the renegade Time Lord known as the Master.
The Master. The Master. Master. Call me Master.
I'm
The
listening.
choice is simple. Join us
Listen.
and continue listening,
Listen.
or face total annihilation.
Listen.
They are the Master, and you will obey them.
You will obey me.
Please attend carefully. Hello and welcome to Please Attend Carefully, the Doctor Who podcast about the most magisterial of malefactors. I'm Ciarán Moffat.
I'm Amber Patrick.
And each episode, we bring you a chapter from the lives and times of the renegade Time Lord known universally as the Master. Today, we will be looking at The Face of the Enemy by David A. McIntee, Divided Loyalties by Gary Russell, and The Infinity Doctors by Lance Parkin. Amber, you have thoughts.
As you can see, Ciarán, I started reading The Face of the Enemy at a point where I was still doing post-its.
Yes.
So half the book has post-it notes and the other half doesn't.
I love post-it. I treasure my copy of The War of the Daleks that has post-it notes all through it.
Oh, Legacy?
Legacy of the Daleks, is that the one?
Legacy, the awful John Peel one. Thankfully, none of these were written by John Peel.
Okay, so Face of the Enemy is kind of like, because David A. McIntee wrote The Dark Path, right? Which
Yes,
is the one that we've
covered.
We've
Yeah.
covered, yeah. You know, it's about the Master, before he's the Master, when he's Koschei. We've talked about that. Whereas this one, Face of the Enemy, just to really cut straight to the nub of the matter, it is a backdoor sequel to Inferno.
Yes, which I didn't realize while reading it that's what I was reading.
So you've got the actual Master in this universe.
And he's in prison
Before the Sea Devils, it's after the demons.
Yes.
So it's got the actual Master, but it's also got the fascists from the alternate universe in Inferno coming through to our universe and having captured the Koschei from their universe who never became the Master.
Yes, that is correct. So yes, there is a scene where the Master goes through to the Inferno universe with the Brigadier and Barbara.
Oh, that's right. It's got Ian and Barbara in it, just
Yes.
because to really,
Yes.
just to get the
Well,
characters
Unit
in.
find like this spaceship and they don't know what it is. So they call Ian and Barbara as
Do you know what we need? A couple of secondary school teachers.
who have traveled with the Doctor.
Yeah.
They might know what this is. So that, yeah, so I'm pretty sure it's
I think it's made of some sort of metal.
so Ian and Barbara are in it. Because Joe and the Doctor have gone, I think maybe. I don't know if they're doing
Paladin.
right.
Paladin.
Yes. So
that makes sense.
they're away.
Right.
So it's just the Master and Unit and Ian and Barbara, and eventually at the very end, Harry shows up too. It's also
Just
an origin about how Harry starts to work for Unit.
I mean, that's nice. I live for more Harry Sullivan content.
So yes, there is a scene when they go through to the Inferno universe, and the Master and Koschei are in the same room,
Right.
and he sort of tells Barbara and the Brigadier who this is,
Mhm.
and puts him out of his misery too, I believe, because the fascist Inferno people have been torturing him for time knowledge
Yeah.
so that they can get back through to the good universe that they want to take over. And they're like replacing themselves.
Do you think that this story because Russell T Davies often borrows stuff from the expanded universe.
Mm.
Do you think he borrowed a bit of this for the Rise of the Cybermen Age of Steel? Like where the Cybermen start coming back into our universe?
I mean, maybe. I don't think it's a pretty easy trope to do.
Yeah, I suppose.
This one is just Inferno, so if he's stealing from this, he's stealing from Inferno, I suppose.
Yes, I suppose. Yeah.
This one was okay. It was very slow first half.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to read this book because I
remember you started it a while ago.
Didn't care about anything that was happening, and then it ramps up in the second half. I think I remember like messaging you and just being like, "Oh my god, nothing's happening," and then a few pages later being like, "Never mind, the Master just shot down a helicopter with like a machine gun."
Come on, go to me! Okay! What you think you fucking with, mate?
We could take a look at a few of my post-it notes. God knows what I thought we needed to know about. Oh yeah, that's right. His TARDIS is a Rolls Royce in this story.
Oh, that's nice. Flashy.
Just like, go, Barbara, get in. Pointing to like a Rolls Royce. He's listening to Diamond Dogs in
the
prison.
Master is a Bowie fan.
Yeah, yep.
Nice. So like the Master's entertainment in prison, as we've seen, is isn't he reading like Crime and Punishment or something like that? He's reading the massive book.
Yeah, and in this he's reading the Financial Times. Totting up his profits from the daily trading.
Oh.
Okay. Feels like cheating for a Time Lord to...
Yeah. Maybe that's the joke, right? Like he's just like, he has no qualms about just, insider trading.
Yes, I do like this. What in Rassilon's name was that? Just using that as a...
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there he is. He's flying a helicopter in that scene. He's escaped from prison.
Fair enough.
As is his wont. Yeah, so this is when you read stuff like this that you're like, what am I reading?
Yeah.
The Master loosed the Uzi's whole magazine into the lower part of the helicopter's nose and watched with a joyous firework display of sparks and flashes. The Perspex panel shattered under the stream of fire and blood sprayed across the canopy from the inside. And you're like, what? Why has he got an Uzi?
Yeah.
I do think that's one thing about David A. McIntee's writing that I realized towards the end of this book. He loves guns.
Okay.
Different kinds of guns, describing what guns they're carrying, just military stuff like that. The Master basically just shoots up a place. Which it feels odd.
Yep.
Especially the suave Master.
Literally the only image I can have in my head of him holding a gun, like an actual gun, like say an Uzi or something, is him holding it in one hand while holding a cigar in the other. Like that's the only way that it sort of balances out the machismo.
So then I stopped marking pages. So it was okay. It was the least engaging of all the books though, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Because at one point, like at the start, I didn't know what was happening because you're obviously not meant to. So you've got all these mysteries happening, and then halfway through I thought it was Zygons.
Yeah.
Because I just haven't watched Inferno recent enough to realize that that's what I was heading for.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, it's Inferno. And I was like, oh my God, that story?
Also, Inferno, the fascist dictatorship in the other universe, kind of takes a back seat to the Primords, like the green hairy dudes. Bold move. I think this is probably, according to my reckoning, the first time that we ever have an entirely Doctor-free, Master-driven story.
Doctor-free, Master. Yeah.
Yep, this is the first one ever. So that's something to be said for it, at least.
It's definitely more an ensemble book. It's not solely his perspective. It's Ian and Barbara, Brigadier.
Right.
And then there's all the original characters for this book.
But it's interesting that, it's put out alongside the Doctor Who line. The Doctor's not in it at all.
Yes. Oh, and I believe when reading this, Koschei and the Suave Master must look different because Brigadier does not recognize Koschei as the Master.
I mean, we've talked about this before in the previous episode
Yeah.
that David A. McIntee wanted Koschei to look different. He wanted it to look different, but it was a contractual obligation of the book that they had to put Roger Delgado on the cover.
Yes.
But again, that is the Koschei from our universe that becomes the Master. So the Koschei from the other universe, very similar to how in Sympathy for the Devil, where they create another universe and the Master's been held captive by people and he regenerates into Mark Gatiss.
Yes. So That is the second of 3 books, I believe, that have Koschei in them.
Right. So the first one being Dark Path.
And we've got this one.
Yep.
And then now we head into the third one.
Gary Russell's Divided Loyalties.
Yes, which is not a David A. McIntee book, but still uses Shay.
Mm-hmm. It's Gary Russell. We love Gary Russell.
This book was good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is the book that, as we both know, people cling on to because it's got one of the only Academy era direct points of view.
Yeah.
So they are at the Academy in this book for a chapter.
And so the whole Koschei thing, the whole calling the Master Koschei, the whole calling the Dr. Theta Sigma, like all of your canon are built on 3 book.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even say that the face of the enemy is really
Yeah.
part of that because Koschei isn't in a conscious state, really. Like, they are aware of people around them, but they never speak or do anything. They're sort of strapped to a table with half their flesh missing and
Ooh, lovely.
Yeah. So only the Dark Path on this one really have Koschei saying or doing anything. So yes, this is like a flashback because the Toymaker is the villain of this book.
Yes.
And you sort of have to go back in time to see how the first Doctor slighted the Toymaker to set up why he's a threat now and after the Doctor now.
Right.
So it does go back in time and you're at the Academy and the Doctor is in what I like to describe as basically a polycule.
You too like to describe it as that. And this just shows how much time you spent on Tumblr.
Well, so the Doctor and his friends are called the Decker because there's 10 of them.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I get that.
And they're all just like they're the top of their class, basically. They're the most promising members of the Academy.
Nerds.
Yeah. Could you imagine how insufferable?
Oh, absolutely.
A group of 10 students calling themselves the Decker.
They're mean girls, basically, aren't they? They're mean girls.
And they called themselves Rallon, Koschei, Drax, Mortimus, Magnus, Ushas, Gelpax, Vansel, Millennia, and Theta Sigma.
Okay, so Theta Sigma is the Doctor, obviously.
Yes.
We know this because there are several references throughout the series.
Yes. Does not want to be called Theta Sigma, though, in the book.
Yeah.
Tells everyone to stop calling them that.
Yeah, so I think the first time it's used as the Armageddon factor when Drax comes along and says, it's Fate, isn't it? Theta Sigma.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the Doctor uses it again in Happiness Patrol, where he says, my nickname at the Academy was Theta Sigma.
Yep.
So, okay, so Mortimus is the monk.
Yes.
There was one of the names there that is actually Vansel. Vansel is another Time Lord that turns up at some point. I can't remember where.
Hang on, I've got it says at the back, it sort of does like a freeze frame.
Yeah.
Sort of, and then they all went off and did this.
No, you make me want to shout.
Vansel, being the toady that he was, abandoned his fake Academy life and worked as a highly respected, barely tolerated, co-coordinator between the High Council and the Celestial Intervention Agency. Not a nice job, but then Vansel's not a nice Time Lord.
Oh,
He ratted the Doctor out, I believe.
Okay.
He was part of the CIA.
Yeah.
And says what the Doctor's been up to.
So yeah, we've got Mortimus as the monk, and we've got Drax, as we mentioned there, who is the sort of Cockney spiv that turns up in a lot of stories. He's, you see Del, but you wheeler dealer, you know, cool, blimey, knock it on the head, do what, and
Ushas is the Rani.
Ushas is the Rani, right? Okay, I'm sure that there's some sort of connection with Urdu in there or something. And then we've got Koschei as the master, but then we have probably the only real spanner in the works. We have Magnus, who is meant to be the war chief.
Yes.
So, okay, obviously last year we had the War Games where it was very, very, very heavily implied that the war chief, played by Edward Brayshaw, is the master. I think that makes perfect sense. We've talked before about how Terrence Dicks and Mac Hulk both wanted it to be the same character.
Yeah.
And literally the only thing that is actually at any point says specifically that they are different characters is this one book.
Yes.
This is the only book that says that they are different people.
And I'll put another spanner in the works. People might not agree with me, but I think that in this book, Magnus holds more characteristics true to the Master than Koschei does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my take on
Yeah,
that.
I remember you mentioning when you were reading
Koschei
it.
has a few lines, but Magnus seems to be the friend that's staying by the Doctor's side in these troubles that he's having. Koschei sort of makes himself scarce when the Doctor's having troubles, which is quite Master.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't get involved, like sort of leave.
Yeah.
But Magnus stays by the Doctor's side for the whole time.
I think it is fair to say, like, because we know that people on Tumblr have, how am I going to say this without, I mean, I don't really care about alienating the audience at this point. Sorry, guys. It is that, so the headcanon that people have on Tumblr that, like, people, as we know, have this sort of, it's a status thing, right? It's just like, oh, I call them Koschei, or like they join in the game and stuff like that. And like whether or not the war chief is or isn't the Master, all of their headcanon seems to be hinging on one book that was written in the 1990s. Like one single book.
And one chapter of one book.
One chapter of one book. So I think maybe, well, actually, no, it is not built on that. Like at the end of the day, the one chapter of the one book is kind of irrelevant because all that they're like building their headcanon on is what other people's headcanon is, right? You're filling in the gaps.
I'll liken it to another book series that people will get, and it's definitely the Marauders from the Harry Potter series. It's so similar to that, in my opinion, of
that you have so little information that people have now filled in the gaps themselves.
Yeah, and people have built up these huge fandoms, which is good, you know, take what you love and build it. But from what is basically 1 or 2 chapters in that entire 7-book series, they're huge.
Yeah.
The Marauders headcanons and fan fictions, like that has been filled in so much.
Yeah.
That it is
people have forgotten what's
actually
canon and what's fanon.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the most likening I think I can do to it. I mean, this is good. It is a direct look into the Academy. I guess I was a little disappointed because it's been bigged up. And then I read it and I was like, oh, I mean, that's about what I would expect it to be in a book. There was definitely some interesting parts.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like, oh my God, I'm finally reading it. Here it is. Like, I wasn't blown away. I'll say that much. I will just follow up the last 3 members of the polycule.
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
We have Jalpax, who is insinuated to be the snood wearing.
Oh yes, the one who comes
up.
in, the one who comes along in Genesis of the Daleks and says he must avert the creation of the Daleks. Also, Jalpax sounds like something you would use on an infected gum. Like, I'm just gonna get some Jalpax for my gums. I've got a bit of a cut. Like,
and then we have Rallon and Millennia, and they are the characters in the book. The rest are sort of cameo characters of like, oh, I know who they are. They're going to go on to be these people. But these 2 are actually for this book specifically. And they get captured by the Toymaker.
Okay, so they are just narrative fodder, basically.
Basically, the Doctor's like, I want to leave Gallifrey. I want to go out there and have adventures. Don't you all want to do that? And everyone's like, And Millennia and Rallon both go, yes, we do want to do that. And the 3 of them head out together, immediately kidnapped by the Toymaker, immediately basically killed or turned into toys. And the Doctor goes back to Gallifrey, having now lost the lives of his 2 closest friends.
And so what does he do with that information? He then goes on and just picks up people as he goes and just lets them, just like, oh, I'm sick of this one now.
Yeah.
Oh dear. And also, I suppose, because isn't this book meant to be like sort of yo-yos between the past and the present in this case being the 5th Doctor in season 19? So he's got Tegan, Nyssa, Adric.
Yes.
So yeah. Oh no, my companions died. Oh, I'll do much better with this one.
Yeah. There is a line here where Koschei says, "Let nothing come between us," and then the Doctor replies, "I'm sorry," and then he says, "Oh, nothing." Like, cute moment.
I love you. What? Nothing?
Yeah, it is kind of like that. But they don't do much else. I felt a distinct lack of...
If you got excited by the idea of a polycule, unfortunately...
Yeah. I think my very own conspiracy theory about this book is that perhaps Gary Russell was a little annoyed that David A. McGinty got to create Koschei,
Right.
and maybe he believed that Magnus should be the master, and so like
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think that's absolutely it. You have to remember, and I will shout about this to the end of time. This period in Doctor Who history, the show had been cancelled. It was off the air. The BBC production office was still commissioning novels, but the person who was in charge of like vetting them, like it was nowadays, if you wanted to make Doctor Who things, it has to go through a massive office.
yeah.
Back then, it was the Wild West. You could do whatever you wanted. You could have companions sexually assaulted. You could have people murdered brutally. You could explain guns in detail.
You could have the Beaver's master be the same master as the Suave master.
Yeah, you
like-
could literally, like, this was the point where they didn't think Doctor Who was coming back, so they
Yeah.
were writing their own canon. But it did come back, and like not even realistically that long after. And people have to remember that even the people who were making Doctor Who that they thought was current thought was going to be current right up until the point it wasn't.
Yeah.
Like the year before Doctor Who came back with Series 1 with Christopher Eccleston, the BBC had fully gone ahead with animated webcasts with the Scream of the Shulker.
Yeah.
That was going to be the next continuation of Doctor Who
Yep.
until it wasn't.
Yeah.
Doctor, you're alive! I mean, how dare you profane the craft of the glorious Shulker Confederacy with your presence?
I'm the Doctor. Hello. hello. And that's the Master, who I see isn't holding on to anything. And this... is a black hole.
So is this the one, can we talk about, is this the one with Rassilon you told me about?
So yes, in this one, they discover in the flashback that Rassilon met the Elder Gods from like H.P. Lovecraft's.
Yeah, and he
stories.
believes that they were Time Lords from a different universe or something.
Yes, gods
Yeah,
of yeah.
he lists their names.
Yeah, it's funny because the Doctor like finds something in the Matrix or somewhere about this,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's Koschei is like, Doctor, do you really think they would just leave this information lying around for you to find if it wasn't like nothing? Yes, here it is.
Come on, let's keep going. Let's see what else is buried in the files of the Time Lords. Mortimus was scanning. A race of people in suspended animation as a result of a gamma war, two identical planets on different sides of the universe, neither knowing about the other, with identical populations and cultures. A water planet in which life exists in huge cities floating in the skies, kept there by mental powers of its inhabitants. A city built around a vast weapon to hide it, Cybermen, Daleks, the giant vampires. Well, obviously the vampires would be in there, Vansel said. This is very tedious. Is there nothing interesting to be found? Oh, so we're interested now, are we? Said Magnus. Vansel shrugged and began examining the door, trying to find a scratch or blemish to keep him occupied. The Elders of the Universe. The Doctor tugged the data pad away from Gelpax and Mortimus and began reading. The record of Rassilon, the Guardians of the Universe. The universe is in a constant state of flux and is essentially balanced by the cosmic powers of the Guardians, being superior to everyone. Everyone? Well, that's helpful, I must say. Keep going, laughed Millennia. This is such fun. The Doctor continued reading aloud. Rassilon only knew of two guardians, light and dark, good and evil, black and white. But Rassilon was aware that there may be others, beings from another universe come to explore, invade, or colonize our own. He defined them as sub-guardians, for many were the creatures that came into our universe as it was born or as theirs expired. And Rassilon named the sub-guardians the Great Old Ones, speculating that mayhaps they were Time Lords from that other universe, far more advanced, far further evolved. And Rassilon gave the Great Old Ones names and warned all future Time Lords to be on their guard against their evil. These maleficents, Pastor, Yog-Sothoth, Shub-Niggurath, Cthulhu, Maleficent, Torgasuk, Gog and Magog, Cloigor, Nyarlathotep, Dagon, and finally the three Chaos Bringers who sought equivalents in our universe, Rag, Na, and Rock, who together would one day cause the end of this universe as they had their own, and maybe countless others before. But Rassilon questioned, did all those great old ones have a role to play in our universe? And were there more guardians? A guardian of justice, a guardian of mortality, a guardian of imagination.
So yeah, I think it's setting up that idea of the toy maker being, as we've seen in the new Russell T Davies stuff, a member of a collective of...
Yeah. As we've said, Russell T Davies he's a bit of a magpie. He takes things that work and fits them into a new context, right? I mean, you take I don't want to be that guy, but you take the Timeless Child, right? He took that, which was basically a little bit of a bonkers concept, and then he just made it work. He's just like, oh, the Doctor's adopted. Like, that's how you get the human angle in there. That's how you make it work.
Yep. So yeah, some lore.
It's interesting lore. And again, it's all coming down to one book.
Yeah.
I don't want to completely dismiss it, but at the same time, I don't want to say don't hinge your entire canon upon it.
I did enjoy this book. It was a page turner. I did read it in about a week.
Yeah.
I wanted to read it. I wanted to see what happened next.
Yeah.
The big game that the Doctor has to play with the toy maker at the end is a double-sided puzzle of the Doctor's own face.
Right.
With one side being flipped and reversed.
Oh, wow.
And he has to put the final piece in the same second that Nyssa and Adric finish a human chess game. Like, they're the
That's
pieces.
just overcomplicating everything.
So the second Adric checkmates, the Doctor has to put the final piece in. Gary Russell, I think, hates Adric.
A lot of people
Adric's
dislike
not
Adric.
painted in a good light in this book.
I think it's a novelization of Time Flight where the Doctor, because you can actually go inside the head, the Doctor feels so unbelievably guilty about Adric dying.
Mm-hmm.
Largely because he feels guilty because just a few hours ago, he was so shut off with Adric. He just didn't want anything.
Yeah.
Because Adric was genuinely annoying, right?
Yeah.
I think we've spoken before about how that's not exactly Adric's fault because he came into this situation in a certain relationship and that relationship changed and he didn't have the capacity to work on that.
That's a lot in this book, is Adric wishing the Fourth Doctor was back.
Yeah.
And hating Nyssa and Tegan because they gang up on him.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who it is, but there is a character in the book that's like, well, you need to work on that. Don't just complain. You need to, figure out your place. You need to not be rude to them. Stop being sarky, basically, was what the info he gets.
But I think it makes a good point that Nyssa and Tegan do gang up on him. And at the same time, he should find his position. But at the same time, no one should be treating him like that anyway.
Yeah.
I think Adric did get a very, I think Adric's story is, once you actually drill down into it, is really quite nuanced. And it's, like you say, he misses the Fourth Doctor because he misses that teacher figure. That's what he wanted. And suddenly the Doctor's changed.
Single
and
dad.
He doesn't want to be teaching people anymore. He wants to be going and, off and having adventures and running up and down corridors.
And Nissa's clearly his favourite now.
Yes.
At least in this book.
I think it's very clear that Nissa's his favourite. Because Tegan talks back to him and Adric is annoyed that the Doctor won't give him more attention. And I think Nyssa is just the quiet kid, unfortunately. I think she's the quiet kid that listens to him.
Yeah.
So he's just like, oh, I want to do this. She's also like, oh, I've done that. And he's like, oh, thank God someone's paying attention.
There are references to the toy maker having had run-ins with both Koschei and Mortimus.
Right.
Yeah, doesn't give us any details apart from the toy maker liked Mortimus.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I don't have much else to say about this book. I enjoyed the single chapter of the Academy, but I suppose I'm past the point where I would have latched onto it like a lot of people in fandom would have. If I read this quite early on in my Doctor Who loving days, I probably would have.
Why do you think people are so attracted to the Academy days? Is it just
it's so forbidden?
Yeah, it's like, I know something you don't know.
But also I think it's that it's like when I read Prisoner of Azkaban, I loved the idea of the former orders.
Yeah.
Because it was mysterious and you didn't know anything about it, but they were such great characters that you wanted to know what they were like. Like, I'm likening it that to them because that's the closest similarity I can find. Like, Lupin was such a good character that I wanted to see him at school having adventures like So then I think this is just the same. The Doctor is awesome. I want to see the Doctor having those early adventures with his friends without the weight of the world on his shoulders. I think the thing that let it down for me the most is it's clearly the First Doctor. And he acts like the First Doctor even though he is at the Academy. He does the lapel holding things. He calls people my dear even though he's at the Academy.
Well,
Like-
there's that line, that wonderful line in Time Crash, where the 10th Doctor says to the 5th Doctor at the beginning, I tried to be old and important like you do when you're young.
Yeah.
Which is one of those wonderful Stephen Moffat lines that cuts right through.
Yeah, and that's true in this. And I think fandom characterize him different, not as the First Doctor, which I think if I was in the fandom, I'd want to do that because I find the First Doctor personality is quite crowbarred into this.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel...
Just to really hammer home that it is him.
Yeah.
I think that's the shorthand, right? They need cues to show you that is definitely the Doctor.
Yeah, and at this point in time, no one was so bold as Chibnall was during his showrunning era to change the established, this is the First Doctor.
Yeah.
No one was going off the rails for the Doctor for that.
We shall be as quick as we can. And you bathe that ankle. What you need is a jolly good smack bottom.
Okay, so the third book you've been reading, which you didn't bring with you.
No, the third book that I read recently was The Infinity Doctors.
The thing you said to me was, why does everyone think Divided Loyalties is the Koschei book? This is the Koschei book.
Yeah, that had overt coupling of them, I think.
Yeah.
I don't even think it was subtext.
The thing about the Infinity Doctors is it's deliberately meant to be
An alternate universe.
alternate, like ambiguous, entirely ambiguous.
Yes. And I'm going to be completely honest up front. I think maybe my favorite Doctor Who thing ever.
You said that, yeah.
Like, maybe apart from, like, the Sound of Drums episodes with the Saxon Master, which I love. But, oh my God, the Infinity Doctors, I adored that book. I was at work at my desk going, I cannot wait to get home and read that book. I want to be reading that book right now. Like, that's the hold it had on me while I was reading it.
Amazing.
It just was so free to do whatever it wanted while keeping the characterizations so loyal to the source material.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the Doctor, who is a lecturer at the Academy.
Right.
So they're a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the Magistrate, who is, as his title suggests, a magistrate, in charge of law keeping and things like that. And they are so clearly their own character. It's the Master if he wasn't a renegade, but everything to his mannerisms and the way he speaks, the way he commands and dominates, even though he isn't at the top of the totem pole in the High Council, he still carries that weight of the Master.
Yeah.
And the Doctor is still the Doctor, and never in one place at one time. No one ever knows where he is. So even though he is just on Gallifrey, he's still running around.
This is an interesting point. Does this imply that the Master only left Gallifrey because the Doctor did? So that if the Doctor never left Gallifrey, the Master would have stayed too?
This Doctor has left Gallifrey, but came back.
Right.
Still had adventures, and is different from all other Time Lords because he knows of other culture firsthand.
He is Bilbo Baggins.
Like he's
gone away and he's come back again.
Yeah. It doesn't really go into the history of the characters in this. It just sort of is just like, they're here.
Mm-hmm.
Just, that's what this book is.
Right.
And like the main conceit for the Doctor at the start of this novel, before the actual problem kicks in, is that he's trying to end the war between the Sontarans and the Rootans. And he's brought a delegation of each to Gallifrey to negotiate on neutral territory.
How come we've only ever seen Rootans once? Sorry, I just want to put that out there. Like, Big Finish has done Rootans a few times, but like they're such a visual character. Why have we not had any more
I don't know.
Rootans? It's a very odd thing. I mean, like, we know we can do better than just half a tennis ball and some goop, right? Like, come on.
And so there are a few moments. It establishes that the Doctor and the Magistrate used to hang out between the toes of Rassilon in the Panopticon. There's a giant statue of Rassilon, and their spot is laying amongst his toes.
What if we kissed between Rassilon's toes?
Yeah. And it's got this wonderful description of it takes the Doctor 6 minutes to scrabble up the giant foot into because he's so small or something, or like he can't reach, and so he has to scrabble his way up. But then the Master arrives and just with ease, just like hoists himself up.
Oh dear. We are the tinea between his toes.
I feel it in my fingers. I feel it in my toes. Feel it in my toes.
And so that's a cute scene. And then there's a scene later on where we have the companion for the story, who is the Doctor's student or ex-student. She's now a time lady officially.
Mm-hmm.
She's graduated, so it's all legal.
Jesus Christ.
And she is in the Doctor's room, and the Master finds her in the Doctor's bed.
Flagrante delicto, eh?
And it says he doesn't know whether to be amused or disappointed.
Oh.
And she reflects that it's clear that the Master and the Doctor are in love.
Oh, okay. That's
That it's clear they love one another.
Just saying that is a very bold statement to make in a novel in the 1990s.
Yeah.
And you could only have done it in an alternate universe story in the 1990s, right?
Yeah, she acknowledges it's clear they love one another.
Mm.
And then we've had that scene earlier where they've met up to hang out in the toes. But there is also a point where towards the end, the villain of the story is Omega.
Okay.
Kind of. He's not really a villain. He just wants to get out of antimatter.
Yeah,
space.
it's like, guys, I'm here. I just want to
Yeah.
leave.
He just wants to establish himself as the ruler of Gallifrey proper.
Yeah.
And he takes over the Doctor's body at one point.
The Doctor's body.
Yeah,
Okay.
he takes over the Doctor's body, and him and the Master sort of fight. Because the Master's trying to save the Doctor.
No. Oh,
The Doctor.
oh no.
I should say the Master. The Magistrate is trying to save the Doctor. And there's this whole thing where Omega is like, kneel before me. And the Magistrate just refuses. And Omega says, I've seen you. I've seen all your lives, everything you could have been, everything you will be. One such as you does not deserve to live in servitude. The Master agrees, I'll never bow to you. And he's like, so be it. And then the Master just blinks out of existence and is not seen again.
Oh, okay. Not even dramatic, just gone.
Yep, just is blinked out of existence.
Oh.
And yeah, that was a little sad. The only thing about this book that was a bit odd was that the Doctor kind of has a semi-infatuation or crush with this student character, Lana, who's a time lady. And they're sort of dancing around, having a bit of a crush on each other. But the Doctor's wife is like a sort of presence that hangs over them all, because the Doctor has a big painting of his wife in his room.
What is this, like Rebecca? Is this Daphne du Maurier? No, the previous Mrs. Doctor. We won't open the East Wing.
And she basically died and he couldn't save her, was what happened. I think, is it Patience? Is that her name? That might be her name.
I feel like, there's mentions to that in other books, isn't there?
Yeah, and she shows up in the antimatter world.
Okay.
Because Omega has been setting a trap all these years. Because he needs somebody else to bear the burden of the antimatter universe and keep it functioning.
Right.
He needs a consciousness to stay and keep it running. So he's created her so that when the Doctor inevitably arrives, the Doctor will be trapped because he'll see his wife is alive here and that he can manipulate and do anything he wants with the antimatter world. So he'll stay. Why would he go back to the real world when he could stay in this one? And it works.
Yeah. I've got everything I want here. Got my wife, got my antimatter.
Yeah.
Why would I ever go home?
But also, the wife is characterized and is overtly stated, and I don't know how metaphorical or anything this is supposed to be, but the Doctor says, like, she was my tutor. She was there when I was born. She was my dad's father and my grandfather's, teacher.
Mm-hmm.
She's always been there, and I love her. And it's a little bit like, really?
Really?
Like, the woman who
That's
was
a very
there
interesting relationship.
when she was born, is that romantic?
Like,
or?
that does kind of feel like taking the idea to its logical, if insane, conclusion.
Yeah.
I get it. I completely get it. But at the same time, it's like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't need to be that. But anyway.
Yeah. Hello, it's me, Ciarán. I edit this podcast, and it's my job to find pithy things to illustrate our points. And for this one, I looked for ages and I couldn't find anything. And the only thing I could think of was the 2010 movie Womb with Matt Smith and Eva Green. Have you seen it? It's fucked. Like, I'd get the trailer and put it in, but there's just a lot of wistful looking around. And movie trailers these days don't go, in a world. So, I can't womb. Be weird anyway. But yeah, no, seriously, go watch it. It's about a woman whose boyfriend dies, and she's so in love with him and so obsessed that she gets his genetic material and clones him. But to clone him, she has to carry the child and then raise the child as her own. And there's some fucked Oedipal shit happening. But really, honestly, the worst thing in this film is that it has no incidental music whatsoever. The entire film is silent. And that is the most uncomfortable thing. Anyway, here we go. Back to the podcast.
There are two women in this book, as I've just mentioned. We've got Lady Lana and we have the Doctor's wife. Both of whom are described as having long blonde hair down to their waist. And it's
you got to type.
Describe a woman. Describe any woman that doesn't... Why do they look identical? Apart from the fact that I guess that's why he has a crush on Lana, is because she looks like his wife?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Either that or just Lance Parkin has a type.
Yeah. But I did enjoy this book immensely. It had beautiful, beautiful descriptions of space-time travel. And there's like a scene where there was a Time Lord, Savar or something, his name is something similar to that, goes out into the universe to try and find where Omega is and bring him home. He like tries to fly into a black hole to find Omega.
Right.
And while he's in that black hole, he finds this being called Ohm.
Okay, like as in electrical resistance, Ohm.
Like OHM.
Yep, that's it.
And Ohm is described as like the god of Time Lords.
Oh, okay.
Might even be worth you looking up Ohm.
I mean, if I look up Ohm, I will find...
Well, look up the Infinity Doctor's Ohm.
It's a stub. In an alternate universe, Ohm was a mad Time Lord god. Savar met Ohm while searching for Omega within a black hole. Prose, the Infinity Doctors. Behind the scenes, coincidentally, Ohm is a unit of measurement represented by the uppercase version of the Greek letter Omega.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yep, that's all we got.
That's all you get. It's one of those lore things that you're like, all right.
Yep, cool.
They have a god that lives in black holes or what? Yeah.
Yeah. Has reading these 3 books shifted your view of the characters at all?
I mean, the Koschei thing, it's a hard question.
I feel like Koschei, that concept, is a lot easier to grasp now, especially with the Fugitive Doctor and stuff. Like the concept of a life before the TV show makes sense.
Yes.
I think this book, I think Divided Loyalties can easily be sort of swept away in regards to the whole Koschei becomes the war chief, becomes the master.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the war chief is so clearly the master at this point.
Yes, there's something weird going on in this book that separates them. And they just didn't know what they were doing back then or how influential lore, things like that it was going to be. It just is what it is. And like, apart from the drums being added to the colorized war games, the war chief isn't canonically the master.
No, but it's very clear that he can become the master. And I mean, I thought that was largely just them putting in audio cues to really just sell it.
Yeah.
And the fact that they just like, I think that war games really tied it together when like they get his body and they move it off, but you can hear the ringing of the regeneration starting. I was like, yep, perfect. I love that. Let it go.
Yeah, either can be true. It really doesn't matter. And I think this is why The Infinity Doctors is my favorite book. The thing I enjoyed the most. That freedom to not be bound to canon and to just have the master even just be the magistrate, just a different title, but clearly the same character. You just get it, like, and just go with it.
Well, this is why, I mean, you and I have talked before, like, my favorite audio is Sympathy for the Devil.
Mm.
It is so beautifully executed in every possible way. And that is completely, like, the whole Unbound concept is completely separate from, like, it just works. Because I love all those Unbound stories, but there's two I love specifically. One is Sympathy for the Devil. The other one is Full Fathom 5 with David Collings, which has a really sort of wonderful loose what if of, like, what if the Doctor thought the ends justified the means.
Yeah.
Which is just gorgeous.
Yep.
So they're my favorite. And I don't know why we don't get more Doctor Who, like, Unbound, if you want to call it that, or like, because we are getting more Unbound. I don't want to say we're not, because, like, we've got the first Doctor Unbound now, because they managed to get David Bradley back, and, you know, people have sort of questioned, why does it have to be Unbound? It was like, well, one, you can't have two concurrent series running at once, and two, you have an opportunity to tell alternate First Doctor stories.
Yes,
like the First Doctor meeting the Daleks or the Cybermen in a different way, or doing things completely different. Like that is something great.
This one's conceit is what if the Doctor and the Master never left Gallifrey?
Yeah, right.
And they were members of the High Council.
Why are we not getting more just one shot anthology Doctor Who Unbound stuff? You know, whatever you want to call it. What if? I mean, look, Marvel did it to great effect recently.
They've had those comics for years.
Well, exactly, but and like the TV series went well, although they kind of made the TV series part of their multiverse, which I think
that
screwed it up anyway.
Yeah, but just pure anthology, pure just tell a good story.
Yeah,
and this was an amazing sci-fi story. Like, I want to read more by this author in particular because his descriptions of things were incredible. And such a clear vision of what the Doctor looked like in my head.
Yes, you said.
And then to see that there was one piece of, like, official artwork done for this Doctor, and it's just awful. It's not what I imagined at all.
I mean, you told me you imagined it a bit like Reece Shearsmith, and when you sent me that picture, I'm just like, it does look a little bit like Reece Shearsmith.
yeah, it does. Well, because he had short cropped hair and glasses, and but it was so clear about what things looked like that helped a lot. Although I will say the Master in that book is just described as having, like, a goatee, like a point, and you're like, okay, I get that you can just say that, and I know it's the Master, but they didn't even try and make him look different.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? The Master has so many sort of visual cues. I remember when it was at the Christmas special in 2006, which showed a trailer for the season coming up, and it showed that shot of Anthony Head in the school reunion, and everyone's like, oh, it's the Master, it's clearly the Master because he's done up in a suit and tie and he's got his hair slicked back, which is a pity because Anthony Head would have made an amazing Master, or indeed an amazing Doctor.
Does it ever get easy?
You mean life?
Yeah. Does it get easy?
What do you want me to say?
Lie to me.
Yes, it's terribly simple. The good guys are always stalwart and true. The bad guys are easily distinguished by their pointy horns or black hats. And we always defeat them and save the day. No one ever dies, and everybody lives happily ever after.
Liar.
So I recommend Divided Loyalties.
Mm-hmm.
I recommend
Infinity Doctors.
Infinity Doctors. Couldn't recommend that enough.
Yeah.
Incredible, beautiful book. And I don't recommend The Face of the Enemy.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's too slow. I mean, unless you're a huge fan of Inferno.
Yeah.
But I think it's just too slow. Ian and Barbara are probably my favorite parts of that book. But
yeah. It seems weird to me because I always assumed that in Inferno, like, I mean, sure, I mean, you can crowbar away in there. I always assumed in Inferno that they all died at the end, like, because the time was running forward.
They're still dying in
okay.
this, that's why they must come through to our universe, because they can't live anymore in theirs. It just didn't grab me.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the Master is good in it, but I wouldn't say it's any kind of groundbreaking interpretation of the Master. It is just a pretty straight down the line Roger Delgado Master with the Brigadier, which is fun, but nothing new.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and that's it.
And where are you going to from here? You're reading?
I've started Harvest of Time.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's all for this episode of Please Attend Carefully. Thank you so much for listening. We hope that with each new installment, you come to understand, appreciate, and maybe even obey the Master. Don't forget, if you enjoy the podcast, please follow and subscribe on whatever platform you use. It will help us keep making more. It really will. We'd also love to hear from you. Amber, how can listeners get in contact with us?
They can email us, pleaseattendcarefully@gmail.com. Get in touch with us on Tumblr, Please Attend Carefully, or Instagram, Please Attend Carefully, or in the YouTube comment section. Again, at Please Attend Carefully.
That's right. Well, as usual, I've been Ciarán.
And I've been Amber. Thank you so much for your continued support. Until next time.
We hope you'll be tuning in. After all, it can't hurt you to listen, can it?